retinol we need basically from beta carotene. So if you look at beta carotene, it's basically 2 retinol compounds if you cut it directly in the middle. And so we have an enzyme that does that. It doesn't actually do it with 100% accuracy, so sometimes it cuts a little bit off, so you end up with like 1.7 retinols per broken beta carotene. But long story short, stoichiometrically it would be 2 if you did it perfectly. Once you end up with retinol, it can be converted to retinol, so they're being named by this right business end here. So down here it's in the hydroxyl group, so it's retinol. Retinol can also be converted to retinoic acid, and so retinoic acid is important as to look at differently than everything else in that it cannot be converted back. So retinol and retinol can interconvert, but once you get to retinoic acid, it does not go back to retinol, so you can actually have a hazardous amount of retinoic acid, which we'll get to in a minute. So in the industrialized world, we have plenty of beta carotene, but globally, there is actually a huge problem with vitamin A deficiency. So every year, about 400,000 children become blind because of vitamin A deficiency. And so you can see that's largely in Africa, Asia, a little in the Middle East, South America, China. But in the US, that's not a problem at all. But actually in excess is the problem. So again, it's very, very hard to get too much vitamin A from beta carotene because this process is actually, this metabolic pathway is controlled. You won't make a retinoic acid if you already have a lot. But if you are taking vitamin supplements that have retinoic acid, then you can definitely have too much. There are kind of acne dermatology ointments that work with retinoic acid. So if you're pregnant, you're suggested not to use those. And if you do use one of those, or you have, this should be vitamin A, if you have a vitamin A supplement, you're at an increased 5 to 10% increased risk of the fetus not coming to term.